Hi everybody, it's Hayden Crawford here from the Dreamtime Academy and welcome to today's live Starseed Awakening 2020. Boy, did you feel it? Are you feeling it? I'm talking about the Lionsgate. We did an amazing course on Sunday called the Lionsgate Activation Portal. It was Ascension Cosmic Consciousness. And yeah, we had a group of beautiful people, men and ladies from all over the globe, getting together to do some inner work and activate the crystalline grid, and also, you know, look at programming the Merkaba as well. So it was just fantastic. So we're actually still going through that process now, because the portal opened obviously from the 3rd until the 12th of August, and it kind of peaked around about the 8th and the 9th. So yeah, it's a brilliant time putting intentions and activating the heart, the throat, and the heart, the third eye, and the Merkaba, as well as the higher self. So yeah, that process is taking place. So obviously a big portal actually will be opening up over Egypt on the 13th. So that's going to be interesting on how that manifests all around the globe. So hi, Ashley, nice to see you. Really, really lovely to see you on Saturday. And I wanted to say to you, Ashley, as well, I'd like to offer you a free private session with me as well at some point as well. So I'll message you after the show today. And it's just really to say thank you for being such a loyal and dedicated dream timer, really. And yeah, it'd be nice to do some activations with you on a more of a private, through a private session, and do some inner work for you. So I'll be in contact about that. It's nice to see you as well, Hayley. And hi to Christina as well. I know I'm very sweet, aren't I? But I was thinking about it the other day, and I just thought, nah, it's I think it's I just got a feeling that I had to do that, and actually, you know, to offer you that, because it's kind of like just a way of giving back as well. And I think that it's very important to, you know, to sort of look out for each other and treat people with respect. So there you go. So I'm glad that glad that you like that idea anyway. You're not like, oh god, I don't really want to do that. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be discussing today, is actually the light language. All right, so actually I'm gonna have an attempt at doing some light language today as well, because I know I'm in good hands. And you know, at the end of the day, we've got to start somewhere. So we're all going to be practicing a little bit of light language. But first of all, we're going to look at what light language is, why it's coming about at this time on the Earth's timeline and during our awakening process, and you know, how we can use it more often in our lives to be able to feel better and raise our vibration. Because I don't know about you guys, but I, like yesterday, it was obviously Monday. I'm here in WA, and I started my week off by kind of looking at a few Facebook groups that I'd just become a part of, and all this kind of like propaganda about what's going on with COVID and all that in Melbourne. And you know, it's like it's so full on, because you know, of course, you know, there's all this kind of like under tension, and it's going to create some more you know, some get-togethers where people are going to start protesting and all the rest of it. And I just think that, you know, if you look at the law of attraction, the more we protest things, the more we've got to protest about. So it's almost like it's kind of creating a bigger problem. So really, even though, you know, even if the government's intentions aren't pure and all the rest of it, it's like the best thing that we can do actually is passively send light and ho'oponopono into all of these situations, because otherwise we're creating duality, and actually that's exactly where we want to move away from. So if we want unity consciousness, you know, we've got to, I mean, it's not to say that we have to shut up and not do anything. It's about doing it in the right way, and setting intentions and sending love and light, and going through the whole process of forgiveness. And that's why Ho'opono, I think, is so important, because it's where we say, you know, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And it's that whole outlook that creates the shift that we're looking for. Yay, says Elizabeth Beard. Light language. Yes, it is light language. I've been wanting a reading from you, says Ashley. Fantastic. Well, there you go. So you're going to get one, Ashley. You love the glasses, do you, Mar? Thank you. Well, look, I mean, it came out of necessity. So, you know, I've got to the age of 47, and now for reading, I have to wear spectacles, but obviously long distance, it's absolutely perfect. So I've got nothing wrong with my eyes, but it's just for reading. And actually it is a lot clearer. So, you know, I'm able to kind of just focus for a bit longer as well, which is good. So yeah, so we're going to look at light language. Okay, so this morning we're looking at light language. So there are 5 signs that you're speaking light language. So if you've ever felt compelled to express an unusual language recently that doesn't seem to make any sense whatsoever, it could be that you're actually talking light language. So basically what you do is you wait until everybody leaves the house, and you know, and then you notice that you're all on your own, and you're like, okay, so you know what feels like it's coming naturally to me. So I actually sing in the shower, but that's just regular singing. It's not really light language. But other people go into light language, and this is kind of like where you're making bizarre noises, which sometimes result in you breaking into some sort of song or melody, or, you know, like where you feel like you're singing in some way. But it can also come out as hand gestures as well. So movements can come into it, and it's where you kind of surrender your ego and your, you know, your sort of your linear way of communicating the alphabet, and you kind of just go into more of a multi-dimensional language that's understood by the soul on all levels. So light language is a language of the soul. So even if you don't understand it cognitively, rationally, you know, analytically, your soul understands this language. So it's a channeled dynamic frequency encodings of sound, color, and light. Yeah. So Elizabeth says, I've been speaking it more and more these days. Fantastic. Well, I wish we had a bit of an audio session so I could hear you all singing light language. That would be awesome. But I'm gonna see if I can channel something through today during the session for you. And it might sound absolutely stupid, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. Give it a red hot crack. So yeah, so it adjusts to the resonance of your immediate vibrational requirements, and it promotes clearing, balancing, and activation of true wellness, because it's frequency. Everything is frequency, and sound is, you know, one of the most amazing ways of being able to you know, sort of raise your octaves to a different dimension. So light language is truly celestial, you know, it really is. And it's a heart opening language that can be channeled from source consciousness, from the angelic realms. It can come from a wide spectrum of intergalactic dimensions, such as Sirius. And obviously we know that the Sirians are playing a major role in our consciousness at the moment because of the Lion's Gate. It's where, you know, the Earth and the Sun and the Great Pyramids of Giza line up beautifully with Sirius A, Andromeda, all the Pleiades, you know, or lots of other ancient civilizations such as Lemuria or Atlantis. So, you know, the light language really can come from lots of different realms of existence and different dimensional frequencies. So we never, you know, we don't necessarily always know where it's coming from. Is there anyone else who's experienced singing light language or speaking light language recently? And I want you to observe when you do. I want you to observe how you feel when you're doing it. You know, what comes up for you? What's the feelings that are associated with that? So, you know, it is non-linear and being both ancient and futuristic at the same time. So it kind of blends time. So it's that spiral of consciousness that we keep talking about, instead of, you know, being, oh, well, that's a language from yesteryear, you know, like Shakespearean ye olde, you know, sort of dialogue, or, you know, futuristic, you know, which can be a little bit more sort of, again, synthesized and you know, E or I. Yeah, so, you know, it's an aspect of our current evolutionary stage on the planet. So, you know, it's happening more and more and more because the planet is awakening. So, of course, there's more and more of it happening. So it actually bypasses all normal cognitive responses, transcends the memory, and activates observational flow as well. So interestingly, we all have the potential to be able to reignite this magical form of communication that can never be misunderstood or misinterpreted, okay? Because remember, it's the language of the soul, so it can't be misunderstood. So it's a different way of expressing ourselves, okay? So it's, yeah, that's what it is. So the language of light is a powerful healing tool for anyone who's on their ascension journey, and it speaks directly to your DNA. So remember that it speaks directly to your DNA. So it says, "Hi DNA, I'm light language, and I'm here to try and help activate your 12-strand DNA." And your DNA goes, "Oh, thank you. That would be awesome." So activating, the dormant portions and actually recoding your personal vibrational blueprint as well. So it actually reminds you of your mission and your soul truth as well. So it's a really great way of being able to sort of activate soul purpose awareness as well. So it is a multi-dimensional, multi-layered alchemical transmission of information, and immediately interacts with your light body. All right, so we're talking about the light body like we're doing at Cosmic Consciousness on Sunday, activating our light body through, programming our Merkaba through meditation and affirmations, both, sort of actively and passively. So the purpose of light language actually is to shift your energy into a higher octave. That's the purpose of it. Shifts your energy. And you can feel this when tuning in. So as your energy rises through your senses, your brain is triggered into gamma state. So gamma state is it's kind of like beyond dream state, really. So it's kind of like a dream time, really. The gamma state. Alpha state is like when you're in meditation, and then obviously we go into delta, and we'll get to gamma. And gamma is where you become receptive and let go of control of your senses, therefore allowing frequency to shift and expand both you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as well. All right. So Elizabeth says, when I first started, it was so strange, and now it feels normal and peaceful, which is wonderful, and that's the thing, it really is about normalizing it. It's not, it's almost like it's not, it's a true language, rather than it being a one that's been learned through an alphabet that was constructed by a draconian society. Okay, so signs that you're speaking light language. First of all, one, it does sound like gibberish. So, light language may arrive in word form and may not have much conscious meaning. So you might also be making unusual or interesting tones, such as clicks or hums with your voice, and you might feel compelled to sing as well. So your voice will change when in full flow. So be prepared. So it can actually change your whole voice, the whole dynamic and mechanism of your vocal cords. So it might not sound like you. It also feels good. So you might not be able to consciously understand this soulful language, but it feels great to practice. So, the subconscious mind recognizing this ancient wisdom easily. Okay, so your subconscious knows it, and that's why it can seem so familiar when you start channeling it as well. So consciously, you might not understand anything, but your subconscious mind instantly remembers it and triggers new insights. So it's a really great way of triggering new insights for yourself, so that you can kind of like continue your awakening and improve your soul memories as well. So past life memories actually do resurface as well through this process. You might start remembering previous lifetimes from deep within your subconscious mind. And it has access to mass consciousness and the Akashic records as well, which are obviously the library that exists on the 5th, 6th, and 7th dimensional frequency and above as well, what we can all access when we go into a deep trance-like state. So, it's been able to help us access and harness that information. It can also trigger remembering of ancient concepts and wisdom that you can incorporate into your daily life as well. So it's another benefit, really. You can also start channeling symbols or images as well. So a lot of the time, it can trigger symbols that come through. So all sorts of different symbols. Like I received some Andromedan light language symbols recently, and I just wrote them down and sort of tried to interpret them in the best possible way. Because my soul origin is actually from Andromeda, although I've come from through Arcturus and speak too, but fundamentally it's Andromedan. So you may be receiving symbols that look like hieroglyphics, okay? And if you're able to make sure, if you're able make sure that you draw them out and keep a record of them as well. So it's really good to just keep a journal of all the light language that comes through. And some can be quite elaborate as well. So, you know, you might not just get a squiggle or a circle, you know, or a spiral or whatever. It can really go into some quite intricate language, and your subconscious mind will recognize the wisdom embedded. So don't worry if you can't read them. It is part of your spiritual awakening. So you might also receive pictures or places or people, and just be open to whatever comes through, really. So I remember that I had a lucid dream, or it must have been about a year ago now, or a bit longer. And I found a light language symbol under my skin, under my chest. It was actually really about near my heart chakra, under the skin. And I didn't know what it was at the time, because I'd never even really even knew about light language symbols. But it felt like it was a tattoo, but it was kind of under the skin. It was around the heart. And then I seemed to recognize it when I looked at Scott Matthias's symbols from the Antares seals. It looked just like the one that's related to the opening of the heart chakra. So it was like confirmation for me, but I knew there was other ones that were there as well. So also, you know, it'll be a reconnection to your starry origins as well. So light language can bring in the wisdom from your higher self, your spirit guides, extraterrestrials, and all sorts of kinds of interdimensional beings as well. And you may start reconnecting from Syria, Lyra, Lemuria, Arcturus, or Andromeda's soul aspect. And it arrives in many waves and forms, so trust whatever comes up for you. And then finally, you know, you get the movements and gestures as well. So physical poses, postures, hand signs, general body movements, and dancing. And this augments the communication in any way, and it helps to get it out. So have you been secretly cultivating this transformational tool? Well, I know Elizabeth has, but has anybody else? You know, who else has been receiving information through via light language, or these symbols or hand movements and stuff like that? Tell me what you've been getting. I'd be really interested to find out. So yeah, let me know what's been coming up for you. And what I'll do in the meantime, I'm going to try and go into a bit of a semi-trance light state now, and yeah, and see if I can kind of just do some light language for you. Okay, so I mean, it's like it's one of those things that's practice makes perfect. I'm not used to doing this, you know, so it's not like a massive thing for me. But since we're talking about it, and we know that everybody has the potential to be able to do it, then I think I should be the guinea pig for the group, don't you? There you go. So Christina says, yay! You're all like waiting for me to do like some light language. All right then, so I'm going to give it a go. All right. Oh dear. All right, what am I doing? Okay, so I call upon Modisha, my Syrian guide, who's come through, and I'd like to express some light language through aku amjabotoa au no manam he hold up and do au lo yam no yam ha he. There you go. So that was just a little trial of light language. So you can see, you know, your ego gets kind of like embroiled in it a little bit, parts of it, and you end up feeling a little bit stupid. But, you know, unless you try, then you never really know, do you? So what I want you to do now is to give it a go. So I'm going to give you the next few minutes to just give it a go. You know, who cares if anyone's watching? Who cares? There you go. So Sydney Face says, that was amazing. Oh, that's very sweet. Well, you know, it was just, it just was, whatever it was. I'm not. Sounds like Native American, does it? Sounds like Native American. Well, that would be the Hopi. You see, the Hopi are very intimately interconnected with the Pleiadians and the, you know, the starry beings as well, because they were the ones that kind of copped it when they came to Earth, like all those millions of years ago. Oh, that's very sweet, Elizabeth. There you go. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'll say I wonder what my mother would say if she could see me doing this. Thank God there's only 8 of you in here today. But anybody who's watching this on replay, then make sure you give it a go as well. So I want you to just do it. You know, just do it. Give yourself a little bit of a trial period of doing some light language and just see how it feels. Remember, it is supposed to feel good when you do it as well. So take the embarrassment out of it and just give it a whirl. There you go. So I'm I hope we have some connection too. Oh, interesting, Sydney. I'm not sure what that even means. Is that sounds Egyptian or something like that, doesn't it? It's difficult to say. Yeah, so there you go. So the other thing that I wanted to go through with you guys as well is I kind of want to see where you are at on your ascension journey as well. So I've actually got some bottles that I want to show you. Okay, so these are the Ascension bottles. They're the golden Gaias in the color mirror system. And I want you to pick one of them. Okay, so I'm just going to grab them now. Okay, so this is bottle number 1. Okay, this is bottle number 1. This one here. So this one is turquoise, pale turquoise over pale gold. Okay, pale turquoise over pale gold. There you go. You see that? If I put it against my top, you can probably see it a bit better. All right, so that's the first one. This is the second one. Okay, so this is pale blue lilac with gold in the top fraction. They're quite similar, but they're not identical, obviously, because it's a different fraction. There you go. So that's that one there. Okay, so that's the second one. The third one, okay, is this one here. So I want you to look at and observe these bottles, and I want you to tell me which one represents where you are currently at on your ascension journey. So that's number 3. Okay, so this one is coral, pale coral over pale gold. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is this one here, number 4. It's a Canadian native tribe. Ah, interesting, Sydney. That's number 4. So that's pale gold over pale gold. That's that one. Okay, so is it that one? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5 is this one here, which is pale gold over pale pink. Pale gold there over pale pink. Okay, so that's that one there. Nice one, isn't it? There you go. Number 6 is this one here, which is pale gold over clear. Pale gold over clear. So that's number 6. Okay. Ma, wait until you've seen them all before you decide. And then this is number 7. So there's 7 golden Gaias. All right, 7. And this one is solid gold. Okay, solid gold over magenta. Okay, solid gold over magenta. So there you go. So which one represents where you are at on your ascension journey? Which one? And then I'll tell you the meanings. All right. So Ma, are you still saying number 3? Just you can leave your answers in the comments section. So just type them in. Type them in the comments section. Now remember as well, guys, to like the video if you're watching it and share it with your friends and family as well, so that everybody comes together. So Haley says, I like the last one. Okay, the last one, beautiful. Okay. Anyone else? Any more for any more? Ashley says number 5. There you go. There you go. So that's interesting, Sydney. And Mar says yes. Number 3. And Christina says, I like 1, 3, 5, and 7. Choose one. Only choose one. Okay. So only choose one. Just one. Okay. So I'm going to reveal the answers for you now. If I must choose, it'll be number 7, says Christina. There you go. Okay, so if you chose bottle number 1, you chose faith. faith. You got to have faith. And that really is the beginning stages of your ascension journey, because if you don't fall into unwavering faith, then of course you're going to stay stuck, because obviously, you know, like the opposite of faith is you know, like it's like mistrust, you know, it's like fear. So it's almost like here what we do is like, it's a fear of being betrayed, really, isn't it? So this is like, it signifies like the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. When we fall into faith that everything is always perfectly imperfect and on track, then we can start our ascension journey. Okay, so that's the first one. If you picked out number 2, then this one is called impeccability. And this one is where you start becoming very much aware of the words that you're speaking, all of the words, so that they can't be used as weapons. You know, so this is where you communicate from a deeper place, you know, where you become conscious of the language that's emanating. When we're talking about light language today, so, you know, it's kind of, it's not light language as such, but it's just becoming a lot more mindful of how your words carry vibrations and are powerful attractors. So here we have to kind of just be very objective about the words that we use, and the way in which we communicate, and find new ways of being able to express ourselves, you know, from our authentic power. Because, you know, gold in the color therapy, pale gold in particular, is about value, but it's also, you know, it's like a very much a futuristic kind of life as well. So it's the golden age energy, and it's authentic power and wisdom as well that comes through. So it's your golden ascension light. If you picked out number 3, you've got generosity. So this one is called generosity, and it's the coral over gold. So this is where, you know, you can kind of like, remember what we said about coral before. Coral is the color of your humanity, you know, your humanness, and the gold is the color of your authentic power. So this is where you can share that, you know, that golden wisdom with humanity. And of course, when you give, you receive as well. So generosity is actually activates abundance. So, you know, the more we can give selflessly, and the more that we can align with this sense of expansion and our Christ consciousness. Remember, coral is about Christ consciousness, about love and power, authentic power, and you know, unconditional self-acceptance. And it's an 11, so it's a G11, which is very much a spiritual master number, which moves us beyond duality. So generosity, it inspires abundance. Okay, so that one is another stage of ascension. Now, if you pick number 4, this is your I amness. This bottle is called I am, and this is where, you know, that you have fully embodied your golden I am presence. I am divine. I am powerful, an ancient, immortal being of light. I am. It's that knowingness from your solar plexus. It's almost like an evolved solar plexus. This is where we, you know, transcend our ego as well. So where the ego no longer controls or dictates what we do and how we feel. And there's an expansion as well that takes place there, because it's a 12. So it's a recognition that you are already perfect, and that heaven is where you're at right now. And then you've got the next bottle here, which is beautiful G13, which is called grace. So if you've picked out bottle number 5, and that's you, Ashley, this is grace. So you're stepping into a state of grace. It's where you've got unconditional love in the subconscious mind, and harmony and balance within relationships, and self-love and mothering, and, you know, all of that beautiful soft pale pink energy combines with the pale gold and of your authentic power. So it's your authentic power meets unconditional love, and it actually steps you into a place of grace, being grace in the world. So if you picked out bottle number 6, then you've chosen the Ascension Light, and this is where you've connected that authentic power with a very clear sense of connection to your starry home, your star system. So it's shining that authentic power and becoming a light, and actually being able to embody and be a light bearer on the planet. So bearing that light wherever you go, not just a light giver, but you bear the light of your authentic power wherever you go in life. And that's really a very heart-opening energy as well. So it's a 14, which is a 5, which is this movement and versatility that takes place. And then if it was number 7 that you chose, like a few of you did, this one is called Satori. So you notice this is the gold fraction is quite different in this bottle. It's solid gold over magenta. And this one is Satori. So it's the state of enlightenment that the mystics aim for. So, you know, if you've attracted to this, it's because you're in the process of enlightenment, where your divine love, which is held in magenta, sits in the subconscious mind. And then the golden light becomes very solid. So it becomes a very real presence in your life, this authentic power and wisdom and this sense of your own value. So it's where your authentic power meets divine love. And that's the state of enlightenment that mystics have always aimed for. So that's Satori, and that's a 15, which is a 6, which is the Venus love as well. So it's love and power combined together, but divine love and actually solidifying your value on the planet. So yeah, so if you pick number 7, then wow, you know, it's an awesome place to be at in your ascension journey. But a lot of the time as well with this bottle, there is a shadow pattern that comes up with it as well. And the shadow is, I want to be really, really rich, but something is missing. Yeah, it's that sort of feeling. It's like, it's almost as if, oh my God, you know, like, I just feel like there's something missing that's stopping me from being able to feel that sense of value. So Sydney says, I'm going to cry. Oh, don't cry. And Haley says, I love my choice. Oh, there you go. So she's crying. Well, sometimes, you know, maybe that's what you need. You just need to have a bit of a release. Just have a bit of a release, let it go. You know, sometimes it's recognizing these things about ourselves that can be quite emotional because, you know, if you think about it, you know, that is the truth of who you are. You know, you are a liquid crystalline form, you know, you're liquid crystalline light. That's what you truly are. And if you can recognize yourself in that, if you can recognize yourself in it, then that's one step closer, you know, to sort of embodying that. Okay. So yeah, so there you go. So we've had a little bit of fun today, haven't we? We seem to have got through a lot of information very, very quickly today. So we've covered off the language of light, where you're at in your own ascension journey. There you go. Sydney says, my soul's been leaving and giving up on my body. Fibro, tardive, dyskinesia, rashes. And I heard somewhere on Numerology Channel about your spirit readjusting to the new body and environment. It's exactly it, Sydney. You know, the body does have to readjust because we're becoming light bodies. So that's why sometimes the body can seem to be breaking down. You get dizzy, you get vertigo, you might get headaches, you might be thirsty, you know, you might not crave the same foods that you once wanted. You know, so it's all of that, really. It's all of that stuff. So, you know, just it's about going into acceptance that everything is perfect, even though it might not feel so at the time. But it is perfect. You know, it's absolutely perfect, what you're going through. And everything's fine. You know, everything is good. Don't get caught up in all of the drama, you know, because being a light worker, you know, and a starseed, you don't get caught up in the dramas of other people. You don't get caught up in one side or the other, or, you know, the conspiracies and the, you know, all of that type of stuff. You just focus on your light, bearing that light wherever you go, being in compassion, being in unconditional love, being in a state of I am presence, minding your words, you know, aligning with your star family, being generous, and holding the faith. Hold the faith that everything is perfect. All right. And that's how you exist on an oversoul, like the oversoul of the planet. So Sydney says, I'm only eating rabbit food basically now. With thought I was effing up, but I'm just almost there. There you go. So there you go. So it's a different way of perceiving what's taking place with you. Instead of judging it as being wrong, it's getting to a place of acceptance, and just knowing that the body is readjusting. The body is becoming a light body as we lose our survival instincts, as we lose that sense of not being safe or secure on the planet, or not feeling connected to the planet, and fearing everything, that red energy, that sort of that sits within the base. Once that's cleared, we've cleared all of that, that's when the base turns clear, and actually we become a light body. So we become this liquid crystalline light form, and that's it. So it can be quite traumatic as well, remember, because you think about it, we've got so used to living in a certain dimensional frequency, haven't we? Where we kind of like go to work, come home, have tea, go to bed, watch Big Brother or whatever it is that you like watching, and then that's it. You know what I mean? Whereas now it's not like that. It's like all of a sudden, time doesn't seem to have that so much significance anymore, because you're just being in a place of now. And you start you're readjusting to, okay, so what do I want to do? How do I want to feel? What do I want the new world to look like? You start visualizing a new outcome, and people are doing it in lots of different ways. There's many different perceptions, many different ideas, many different ideals, that we have to just stay true to our own, and remember that will create our golden age. Like within, I can't remember who said it, but I think it was like, within this world there are many other worlds, and that's so true. Not everybody has the same world. There's different frequencies, and people, it's like being at like a radio, and you tune into different radio frequencies, and they're all there, but you tune into them. It's like you guys are tuning into this because where you're at on your evolutionary process is aligned to the vibration that Dreamtime Academy is on. So it's aligned, so you're on the same frequency. And then we all go through phases where we need extra learnings, or we sometimes we slip back down, and we're in a process of evolution. It's like a spiral of consciousness, but it's layers of an onion, really, the whole thing. And it all kind of exists simultaneously, across all time, space, dimension, reality. So I know that sounds a little bit woo-woo, but when you get your head around it, it's actually fairly straightforward. So any questions on today's session? Have you got any questions today? So if you do, Ma, Christina, Haley, Sydney, anyone else who's watching as well? Is anyone else watching who's keeping a bit quiet, who's got any questions? Is anyone there in the background watching and going, oh, this is interesting, but I daren't ask a question because that might seem stupid? Well, if that's you, then don't worry about being stupid. I've just done light language. So, all right. So, any other questions? It looks like you're all pretty much there, all in a state of grace. Good. All right. Well, I'm going to love you and leave you and enjoy the rest of your day. I've got a session to prepare for now with a lovely lady. So I'll be in contact with you on Thursday. If you tune in for some live numerology readings on Thursday, we do some Starseed numerology stuff and some color readings on Thursday and Friday as well, between 9 and 10. So yeah, I'll catch you then. Have an amazing day, everybody. Lots of love, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.